Okay, pretty exciting stuff here today. Finally got done fishing and hunting and all this good stuff, and now it's time to work on the house a little bit. So I've had this pressure vessel in here for not a long time, probably 10 years or so, maybe a little longer. I don't know, but needs to be replaced again. I think what happens is, I have well water. I think there's a little bit of debris in the well water, and these pressure vessels, they have a bladder in them. And I can only guess there's a little bit of dirt in there and it just causes a crack. And one of the symptoms you'll see is, your pump turns on. You got to listen for it. I mean, this is a below ground pump. This is a sump pump. So a well pump, I should say. It's not a jet pump that sits on a block or something. But you'll hear the pump turning on more than it should. And, you know, it might only be like one flush of the toilet or two flushes of the toilet. These have, this well tank here, or this pressure tank here, it's got like 30 some gallon capacity, so it should really go for a long time before, the pump turns back on, but it hasn't, so pretty sure the bladder goes. Sometimes you'll even see a little dirty water. So I did try to pump it up a little bit, but with my air compressor, but it didn't seem to get any better. So I'm going to replace it. Not too much excitement there. Basically, you got to disconnect the electricity. That's number one. You don't want to shock the crap out of yourself. That'll ruin your whole day. Then I'm going to, the pump won't turn on. Then I'll bleed the system upstairs. I'll flush a couple toilets to get whatever water's in there. Then I got a nice valve here. I do have a shutoff here. Okay, right here. I do have a shutoff. I put this in a while ago, but I did put it in, and I built this from here up, and as you can see, I don't have a union here, so I will cut the pipe right in this area, right here, and I'll put a union in there, and that way, these little plastic fittings, this PEX stuff, I can just pop them right off, and if I cut that and take the few wires off that are on there, I'll just slide this, and it'll be empty, thank God, and I'll just slide this whole thing out and take it out somewhere else where I can work on it. There's a T. I want to reuse this brass T that's underneath here where all the components are. Right? Why not reuse it? It's pretty heavy duty. I just have to inspect it, and it looks like I got to get another plug. I must have put a galvanized one in there or something. But I'll get a new gauge. I got a new sending unit. It turns the pump on and off, and so I'll put all that stuff on there. So it'll be good to go, hopefully for another, lot longer. Longer the better, right? You just hate when these things break because they always break, at the worst possible time, like in the middle of winter or something. So anyway, we're getting after it, so enjoy. Okay, here we are. I got a hose on it to drain it to a drain. I loosened these wires up. Right, power's off, of course, so we can just pop these off at any time. And again, I'm going to use this wire. Why not? It's already got the neat little hooks in it. I just got to take these grounds off. And on this system, it's two legs of 110, so 220, single phase. So I got two blacks on the right contacts and two reds on the left, and I got both the neutral, the white, and the ground. They're both sharing a ground lug here. So you may see different things. I doubt you'll have just a one leg of 110 driving your pump, but you'll probably see stuff just like this. But you never know. I mean, you could have a jet pump above ground, and sometimes they're only 110. So, and what we got here, tracking it down. This goes up to the box. This comes into the from the main power here. And quite honestly, it doesn't matter. But that's what I have here. And again, I plan on getting a bigger one of these. This is a 3050, I think. And I'm going to be putting a 4060 in there. What you heard me clicking there was these retaining nuts in this Romex connector here. It screws on like that. It's just a strain relief basically to hold your electrical wires in. So you had to smack it out with a screwdriver, and I'm on my merry way now. So let me take the other hunk of wires out. I can hear the water's just about out of this tube, and I'll cut this sucker. So I'll set it up again when I cut that. So I'm going to cut the pipe right here. No, I could cut it anywhere, right? I cut it down there, cut it up. I got to cut it between the shutoff valve. I don't want to cut it here, sorry. So I can't cut it anywhere, but I'm going to cut it right there. And, you know, this is your normal pipe cutting type pliers. You know, they have a little pizza cutter blade, but it bumps into it back here. So I got this little handy dandy short, you know, doesn't get where you don't need much room. So these come right off. And again, I got the water off, so any residual water upstairs is going to be upstairs. It's not going anywhere. But I'm sure I'll get a little more water out of here. Yeah, a couple drops. And every once in a while I just give it another turn. Oh, got a little water there. We'll just let it piss away a little bit here. I'll get my bucket. Ah, so much better. And all I have to do is pop the PEX after this. These are just quick release, so I think that's all the excitement here. You can see I'm popping a pipe off. Let me just get to the next step. Well, I'll just cut it through. Ooh. Pretty exciting, huh? Okay, here we go. We got this tea. I got it off the tank. You can see the new tank in the background. Look at that lovely blue color, right? And anyway, I'm going to reuse this tea. Nothing really wrong with it. But I do have a new, control box here. I will put a new one of those on. And the reason being is, anytime you fiddle with these things, I'm not sure how well you can see that, but that thing is just filled with crud and corruption. Again, this is a well pump. And you get a lot of dirt and debris in there, and that just fills up that orifice. This is some kind of bladder or something in there, definitely a diaphragm. And if you have any dirt at all in there, it's not gonna react well. So if you have it set to 30, 50, 40, 60, whatever, you get some dirt in the mix, it's not gonna work as well as you think it should. So they're 27 bucks, and in the same time, this is a 30-50. And this is a 40-60, so to give the house a little more pressure. So that's good. So you can see I got I had to cut the pipe because I forgot to put a union to begin with. So I'm going to put a union in there. I got a new gauge. Again, the gauges are not a lot of money. Same type of deal there. That was all messed up. Got crap everywhere. I do need to get a plug. I didn't realize I don't know what the heck I was thinking. I put a galvanized plug in there a while ago, and I did get it out, but it's a little ugly. So I'll get a 1/4-inch plug for the one port that's needs to be plugged, and I should be good to go. So I got to take a run to the local Lowe's. They got just about everything, and they're close. What the heck? So I'll get that, and this is so far so good. It's not doing too bad. Then I'll assemble this piece here on the blue part using my tape and such. I'll throw the whole thing back down. So probably the biggest challenge will be getting the same height. I want this piping to be, to line up pretty close with what I got right now. So I'll have to get some cement blocks or something, which I probably have laying around the house, to get the height about the same. But that should be hopefully the biggest challenge I encounter today. So, okay, so we're getting closer. Okay, just a quick refresher course on applying this Teflon tape. I got the plug, and you don't need to see me tape every one of these fittings up, but it is helpful to know what's going on here. This is your NPT, whatever. You want to put the tape on in righty-tighty, basically. It's easier if you put it in your hand. When you get the fittings there, it's a little harder to understand it, but you want to do like 2 wraps, but you do want to get it close to the front here. You don't want it overlapping by a 1/4 inch, but realistically, these first threads are the ones doing the work. So if you got it back there, fine, but you want to get it at the front of the fitting too. So like 2 wraps, that's good to go. And again, we want to turn it to the right here, just like you're tightening up. Otherwise, if you put the tape on backwards, when you tighten up your fitting, the tape spins off. So we got that one. And we got our wonderful gauge here, brand new gauge. Everything's great. And we can start assembling this thing. It's going to be wonderful. And of course I got to do the 1-inch pipe thread there. But I think you can figure that out. So let me get this all together, and I'll tighten it onto the bottom of the tank. Okay, so you can see I got the gauge in place here. I got the switch. All the rest of them, just like I said, I put the tape on there. And the next big piece of excitement is I got to refit it back in place where the old one was. I got to put this, union in there. So next time it'll be even quicker, because Because, you know, it will happen again. These things tend to go out, let's just do that over.